What's good, y'all? I'm back with another video. This one in particular is going to be talking about, of course, Naruto, who his character really is, because I know for a fact who he's truly supposed to represent, and who Kishimoto really got his inspiration from. In this video, I'm going to be detailing where I got the information from, how it ties into Naruto and the different aspects that we see in the show. And just to be clear, before I even start, just to be clear, I am in no way venerating this entity. I'm just explaining who this character is in depth. Okay? I don't know. It's 2020. Everybody got their own belief system. That's cool. But I know for me, at least, I believe in God and the Bible. Okay? And the Most High. Alright? One in the scriptures. Now, this is not a religious video of any sort. Like I said again, try to put that disclaimer out there so people in the comment section will be like, man, you talk about this stuff, man, you probably believe in that stuff, man. I'm just showing you what it's all about. That's all. I don't believe in these quote unquote gods, these fake gods who they put out there. It's just what is shown and what I see and what I'm gonna expound on. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, and also, y'all, please don't get it twisted. I grew up on Naruto. I love watching it. To this day, I still watch it. I play the games, all that. It's a big part of my childhood. I grew up on. But I just know what I'm looking at, and I know what I'm seeing. And from doing my research, I can put two and two together. I connect the dots, so to speak. So all I'm doing is imparting this knowledge that I've learned onto y'all. Whosoever chooses to understand the understanding, if you know what I mean. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. So Naruto is Haru, and in case y'all don't know who Haru is, he is Apollo or Hippocrates. The different aspects, different names for that character is still the same being, but that is who Naruto is in this story. Haru meaning hero. That's where we get the term hero from. It's Haru. But that is who Naruto is. The light side of Haru. And Sasuke is the dark aspect. He's a Sar. But he's not to delve too much into him because we keeping it focused primarily on Naruto. Naruto is Haru. Okay? So, like I said, without further ado, let's actually jump into this. Alright, so now let's start getting some evidence on the claim that I say Naruto is really Horus or Haru. Okay, so as you can see by this article, this explanation for Horus, it says Horus or Haru, Hor, Har, an ancient Egyptian, is one of the most significant ancient Egyptian deities who served many functions, most notably god of kingship in the sky. He was worshipped from at least the late prehistoric Egypt until the Ptolemaic kingdom in Roman Egypt. Different forms of Horus are recorded in history, and these are treated as distinct gods by Egyptologists. Various forms may possibly be different manifestations of the same multi-layered deity in which certain attributes or syncretic relationships are emphasized, not necessarily in opposition, but complementary to one another, consistent with how the ancient Egyptians viewed the multiple facets of reality. So that's basically a long, roundabout way of saying that all these different entities are the same person, just with different names and the different establishments throughout the world and kingdoms and so forth. They're the same entity, just different names for that entity. Like Apollo, Horus, Haru, whatever you want to name that person, it's the same being. Okay, and I'll continue to prove that as I keep on reading. So it says here, he was most often depicted as a falcon, most likely a lanner falcon or peregrine falcon, or as a man with a falcon head. So that's going in the show, in reference to the show. That's Haru's dark aspect, which is Sasuke. He has moves similar to a falcon. The falcon drop. His hair is shaped like a bird. Kishimoto stated that he got the inspiration for his hair from a cockatoo, or cockatoo, that's wrong. He got it from the falcon, Haru, the dark aspect of Haru. Okay. He's even seen later on in the series summoning falcons, or summoning hawks, summoning hawks. So that's where that comes from. The falcon and the hawk both symbolize Haru. Alright, it says here, later he also became the patron of the pharaohs and was called the Son of Truth, signifying his role as an important upholder of Ma'at. His right eye was the sun, and his left eye was the moon. Okay, and we see that later on in Naruto, as Naruto is the sun, representative of the sun, Haru, and Sasuke is his dark aspect, which is the moon. That's all. When it says the left and right eye, it means the good side and the dark side of Haru. Okay, so Sasuke is the moon. He's depicted as a moon, or the dark half of Haru. But they're the same entity. That's why throughout the series, Kishimoto will show you, that their similarities are likened into the yin and yang. Okay, it means that they're the same entity. There are dualities, which is light and dark, but at the same time, they're the same entity. Okay. Moving on, it says, her was sometimes depicted fully as a hawk. He was sometimes given the title Kimur, meaning the great black one. So as you can see here, it's showing you that is indeed Haru. He's depicted as a hawk, which is not literal. It's just the animal he was likened unto, the attributes of the traits he was likened unto. Just like how Sasuke likens himself with the hawks, or aligned himself with the hawks. That is the aspect he chose. Okay. Alright, so going along with the theme here about the different entities, or the different quote-unquote gods being the same person, we have here Harpocrates. Okay, so let's read what this says about him. Harpocrates was the god of silence, secrets, and confidentiality in the Hellenistic region, developed in Ptolemaic Alexandria, and also an embodiment of hope, according to the Plutarch. I think so, say that. Harpocrates was adapted by the Greeks from the Egyptian child god Horus. Okay, so it's showing you right there that that's basically the same entity. Horus, Harpocrates is Horus in the childlike aspect. Okay, who represented the newborn sun rising each day at dawn. Harpocrates' name was an Hellenization of the Egyptian, meaning Horus the child. Reading further down, modern occultists display his image loosely connected now with Hermetic Gnosticism. Typically, Harpocrates is the babe in the egg of blue that sits upon the lotus flower in the Nile. He may be termed the god of silence, and said to represent the higher self and be the holy guardian angel, and more, in similar vein, adapted from Aleister Crowley's often reprinted Magic. Many Discordians consider Harpo Marx to have been a contemporary avatar of Harpocrates. Because of this, the Discordians often invoke Harpocrates as a trickster god, or god of humor, in addition to his classical attribution of god of silence. So we see that when Naruto is a child, in part 1 of Naruto, he's displaying the trickster or the trickster god archetype, where he's going around causing mayhem, pulling pranks on people, just for the hell of it, just to gain attention, gather attention, because he is the outcast. Okay, he has been cast out, just like Haru or Lucifer was cast out of heaven. Okay, those are the same entity, and I'm going to continue proving. All right, so this is another article about Harpocrates. We'll continue reading to gain a little bit more clarity about it. Harpocrates was the Greek and Roman god of silence in the Hellenistic period, who was adapted by the Greeks from the Egyptian child god Horus. To the ancient Egyptians, Horus was the newborn sun, rising each day at dawn, and
He was depicted in statues as a child holding up a finger to his mouth. Harpocrates was the god of silence, secrets, and confidentiality, and also an embodiment of hope. So we already know that. Okay. When the Greeks conquered Egypt under Alexander the Great, they transformed the Egyptian Horus into the Hellenistic god known as Harpocrates. Okay, so they're the same entity. If y'all haven't gathered that by now, it's right here, plain as day. This god eventually developed wings and became Harpocratic Eros, which in turn became Cupid. So that's why on Valentine's Day we get the character of Cupid from. Okay, that's really Harpocrates. It's the same being, which is really Horus or Heru. Okay. Cupid is linked specifically with being a child, and the connection with wings suggests the influence of Horus's falcon wings that span the sky, thus representing the young morning sun. So Heru or Horus is also known as not only the sun god, but the god of the sky. Okay, god of wind, which is where you get Naruto's affiliation with wind. He's the god of the sky. He's the god of wind. Okay, he's the sun. All right. Okay, so this article right here is going to show you and give you some clarity about Lucifer being the amalgamation of Horus. Okay. So right here at the beginning it says the ascension of Lucifer, Horus, bringer of light, invoked by Isis, Osiris, Lucifer's adept, Lilith, the Magus. Okay. Lucifer Rising has been beset with problems. Cast changes. And Lucifer Rising is talking about a movie. Leslie Huggins, the present Lucifer, is also the fifth to play the role, having been complicated by stolen footage and financial woes. Over the past 10 years, several incarnations of the film have appeared. Kenneth Anger re-edited this revised edition in 1980, adding a music track from his original Lucifer, Bobby Beausoleil, and the Freedom Orchestra, a group of prisoners serving life sentences, recorded in Duell Prison in Tracy, California. Although Christian theology views Lucifer as a personification of evil and a rebellious fallen angel, Anger sees him as a beautiful bringer of light and a cosmic trickster. You see that with Harpocrates, the trickster god. Okay, it's the same entity. They show you here, they say it again, they're gonna keep showing you. It's the same being, the same entity, just different names. Anger's Lucifer is linked to the illuminating gods of pagan religions, most notably Horus, the Egyptian falcon-headed sun god. Lucifer Rising is an invocation of Lucifer by Isis, goddess of life and nature, and Osiris, god of death and resurrection. Lucifer's adept, the link between the gods and man, in a many-colored coat, Lilith, the destroyer, and the Magus, played by Anger himself. The gods and their human receivers appear at magical sites such as Karnak, Luxor, Avebury, and Stonehenge to call forth the explosive, chaotic, dramatic, but also tender forces of nature. Storms, fires, volcanic eruptions, a solar eclipse, the birth of a crocodile, the labor of a beetle, the grazing of a goat. Okay, so what that basically means is showing you the different attributes associated with that god. The storm god, which is Zeus, lightning, Apollo, the fire god, all of them are the same entity, the same being. It's this Horus or Heru. It's just different aspects or different characteristics for that one aspect. So they summon Lucifer, who arrives in a variety of trickster guises to amuse, confuse, and enlighten the viewer. So how in Naruto, especially in the early series where he's going around and he's disguising himself as a woman, transforming as a woman into sexy jutsu, that's his trickster archetype at work. He's going around causing mayhem, amusing other people, amusing themselves, just being an overall trickster, a comedian. Okay? That's what he's supposed to be. Okay, it says here. In the grand finale to the film, Anger has called it visual music. A glowing pink flying saucer floats over the Sphinx, which is signifying of the sun, signifying that humanity can embrace the ancient gods of its past as well as its future. Past, present, and future are shown to be one and the same. This is another topic of reincarnation. The ancient Egyptians believed in reincarnation, and that theme is prevalent in Naruto, as you get the past, present, and future all the same. They're all connected in that show. Okay, they show you with Naruto's predecessors, Ashura, Indra, all of that. They're showing you the same things that have been known throughout history. Okay, what the Egyptians believed in. Lucifer rising constitutes Kenneth Anger's glorious vision of the dawning of the Aquarian Age, the Aeon of Horus. Okay. Alright, so another article detailing the hero story, or the story of Haru, which is where the term hero comes from, in ancient Egyptian mythology. Okay, so we're going to scroll past here and actually get to the story. So it says, the story of Haru. Haru, endowed with the spirit of his father, was given the mission of defeating his wicked uncle Set and restoring order to his father's kingdom on earth as the rightful heir to a unified Kemet. Haru grew up in hiding to prevent Set from discovering that Asar had an anointed son, but all the while preached of his father's kingdom and preparing his disciples for the day of battle. Battle between the forces of Set in the north against the forces of Haru in the south. So we see that throughout Naruto's childhood, where he's being protected by the elders of the village, even Jiraiya, who all know the oncoming threat, which is the Akatsuki or Pain. Pain and the Akatsuki as a whole is symbolizing Set. Okay, it's supposed to be sort of a analogy for Set, that whole organization. Mainly Pain, but the whole organization is symbology for Set. Okay, they're trying to prevent the other people from knowing who he really is. He's really the child of prophecy, or the anointed child. Okay, that's why the reason as to why Naruto doesn't have his father's name or his last name is because if they knew that, they would know that he was a child of prophecy. Okay, he was Haru, so they had to keep him hidden away. That's why Haru is also known as the hidden god too. All right. It says here, in the end, it was Horus and his righteous armies that was victorious. Once the battle was over, instead of killing his uncle Set, Haru bound him in chains and cast him into an abyss. Okay, at the moment of his victory, Haru was transformed into a falcon and was called up to heaven to stand before his father and give testament. All right. So right here, it's showing you the whole story about Haru, the hero story, yada yada yada. Okay. Asar was well pleased, blessed him, and sent him back down to earth to rule as the legitimate pharaoh of unified Kemet. Once Haru assumed his throne on earth, Asar was also able to be at rest, assumed his throne as the lord of the underworld. So let's keep going. Haru is the original hero. The word hero has its origin of a definition from in the mythology of ancient Egypt. The ancient Egyptian word and god Haru is the root word and archetype of the modern word and protagonist hero. Haru was adopted into the Greek as Horus, from which the word hero is derived. Okay, according to Egyptian scholar Dr. Charles S. Finch III, MD, Horus is the prefiguration the ancient Greek word and concept of the hero. In ancient Egypt, Haru's Horus archetypal characteristics are those of the Avenger, Sasuke, the Divine Son, the Fulfiller, Heir, King, Bringer of Light, Good Twin, because there's two. Remember, there's two sides, the good side and dark side of Haru. Remember? Champion over darkness and evil, and later Redeemer. That's why you see in the Talk no Jutsu, Naruto is always trying to redeem his enemies. He's not trying to kill them per se. He's always trying to redeem them. That's where that comes from. These multifaceted aspects of Haru or Horus are divided accordingly to 3 categories: symbolic, mythological, and archetypal. Right. So if that don't clear it up for y'all, I don't know what will. You know, it's showing y'all where Kishimoto really got his inspiration from, or where the character of Naruto really comes from. You know, all this shit about, oh, you know, I got the hair color inspired from Dragon Ball Z. Nah. This is bullshit. He got it from Haru, okay? And I'm gonna continue proving that. So this little screenshot I took, it says right here, silence is golden. It's from the same article that I was reading about Harpocrates. For some reason, they didn't have this little excerpt that I see right here in the article. I don't know why. For whatever reason, they decided to leave it out. It's cool, because I was able to get the screenshot. It says here, Harpocrates had golden blonde hair. And the character of Harpo, which is from Harpo Marx, you know, he wore a curly reddish blonde wig. Okay, so Harpo Marx is a person who kind of brought forth that aspect or that entity inside of his being to become Harpocrates. That's who he was embodying. That's why his name is a reference to Harpocrates, Harpo. But anyway, that's where Kishimoto got his character design for Naruto, at least for the hair. Harpocrates was known as having golden blonde hair, and we already know Harpocrates is also Haru or Horus, okay, or Lucifer, okay, the light bringer, the light bearer, person who illuminates, who instructs, who teaches. Okay, that is what Naruto represents. That is who his character really is. All
right, y'all. So if y'all enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like. And if you want to see me do more videos like this in the future, comment down below, and I'll definitely make this a series. You know, I love doing this. I love doing my research, trying to impart knowledge on people. That's all I really care about. You know, I want people to understand what they're watching, go into history, all that. So again, thank you for viewing it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Later.